Good afternoon, dear viewers. Welcome to the second episode of The Fix. Last week, you'll recall we were looking at the EFF and issues around the EFF and the turmoil around Malema and Shivambu's resignation and so on. Watch that space. There's a lot going on there. I could stick my neck out and say this party is imploding, but let me not go that far. This week, again, I would like to focus on the EFF, but taking a slightly different angle. Let us recall that the EFF is just a little over 10 years old now. Malema and Shibambu co-founded the EFF way back in 2013, and they've been through thick and thin. They've been through it all. Malema with his confrontational style of politics and attitude towards life in general, and Shivambu was the more laid-back character, but he could be confrontational at times. But over time, he grew to be what they call an intellectual within the EFF. I don't know what they mean by that. But he was the thinker behind the EFF because he was behind a lot of, policy frameworks and so on. And Malema was really the face of the EFF. If you talk the EFF, you talk Malema. Malema personified the EFF. This week, I would like to take a slightly different angle. Let us recall that or remember that both Malema and Shivambu have been implicated in the VBS scandal by Chifiwa Matozi, that man who's serving 15 years, who ran down VBS and then turned around to become a state witness. Matozi is now in jail serving 15 years and is not likely to come back very soon. Matozi, in an explosive affidavit, named Malema and specifically said Malema and Shivambu had been present at certain meetings where certain amounts of money were discussed and so on. But all in all, the affidavit goes on to show that they benefited to the tune of about 16 million. This was apparently to sort of let them tone down what they were saying about Nkandla at that particular point in time. You remember the Nkandla scandal, and Malema and Shivambu were very vocal about this Nkandla thing, and I think Matozi saw it coming because Matozi had advanced Zuma with money, VVS money. Zuma had benefited, and Matozi was apprehensive that the EFF being so vocal about it all might, sort of cool down things if he gave them something. So through some other company, apparently owned by Shivambu's brother, money was siphoned off from VBS, but it ended up, benefiting the two of them. That is what that is the upshot of that affidavit. That somehow they benefited. Now here's Shivambu leaving Malema, just in the middle of all that, and going to join the MK party. I wonder, is this a personal decision? Or what value will he bring to the MK party? Or does he see that there's some kind of, advancement of his career or something? Because to me, it looks like jumping out of the fire right straight into just jumping out of the stewing pot into the fire. I don't see how it will advance except from a personal point of view. Well, if he has been promised something bigger than what he had in the EFF, remember, he was the deputy president of the party, and he was also the parliamentary chief whip. So the man was fairly doing well within the EFF. I don't know what the MK holds for him, but there should be something there. I'm sure he's motivated by something. And perhaps it could be issues around, him wanting to advance his political career, and also the promises that they have dangled at him, come join us, and maybe they identified that he has got certain qualities which the party might need for him to, because frankly speaking, the MK party is in disarray. You talk about the MK party, you don't see any structures in place and so on. The MK party is virtually Jacob Zuma himself. So I think they are trying to, to streamline things in the MK party, and perhaps Shivambu, with his experience from the EFF, could come and, sort out those structures and so on. But the MK party itself is tainted with a lot of, shenanigans around. The people in the MK party themselves are highly controversial. There's impeached Justice Hlophe. He's quite a prominent figure within the MK party. And now we have Floyd Shivambu, who, with his VBS loot or baggage coming into the party. The leader, if you can call him the leader of the MK party, Jacob Zuma himself. I mean, Zuma, there's just too much that Zuma faces by way of litigation, and there's a lot of problems going on there. And recently, remember that the party fired about MK party also fired about 19 members or so. So it is also a very turbulent terrain to venture into. And I wonder, will this help? How will this help? How will this help Shivambu? Distancing himself from Malema in this manner and at this particular point in time when, they're facing and they are likely to face in the very near future that VBS scandal together. And I just don't know. I don't see where things are going to get from here. But Malema, typical of him these days now, is showing his true colors. He doesn't seem to bother very much that Shivambu has left. In fact, he called a press conference and called what he calls his ground forces in Soweto. They went Soweto yesterday, and he was saying that everybody who wants to leave the party is free to leave, and all that fiery rhetoric that came out of that meeting or rally of the party in Soweto yesterday was a veiled threat against some of the top leaders of the party, because there was Malema saying, at a very difficult time when people like Shivambu are leaving the party, there are those among them who are silent. There are those, for instance, Ndlozi. Ndlozi is, although he did not mention him by name, all fingers are pointing at Ndlozi, that Ndlozi is the next man who will be out of the EFF. And it was a very uncomfortable thing for him to say. But, in typical Malema style, he just said, let them go. Those who want to go, let them go. I think he's perhaps letting go of the fact that Shivambu is gone, and he wants to, maintain a semblance of strength to show that, no, this party is still alive and kicking in spite of the fact that people like Shivambu have left. But the impact will be seen, will come out. There are going to be consequences here because definitely, like I said in the last episode of The Fix, this has left a huge gap. Shivambu's departure has left a huge gap, and Malema will have to scramble around and look for capable people to fill up that space. This is another development in South African politics which you must watch very closely. It remains to be seen where the EFF will go from here. I am not even trying to write this obituary. I'm not trying to do that. It's up to them to fix their own house. But this is a topical issue which we are watching very closely, and I will be bringing you a lot of updates in the next episodes, although other episodes, of course, will focus on other issues. We are not going to focus exclusively on the EFF. But before I round up today's episode, let me say, press that subscribe button. Please subscribe. We need those subscriptions to keep going. Without you, this channel would come to nothing. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode, where we will discuss many other issues. Please kindly subscribe. Thank you very much.